We're going to taste some that are a little bit sweet, and we're going to taste some, the last two, which are quite sweet, dessert wines.
I knew a sweet Riesling.
Did you?
Her name was Ginger.
And
She worked on the Lower East Side. Ginger Riesling.
Ginger Riesling.
And don't tell me she wasn't sweet.
You're going to taste all 6 wines. It's going to be blind. You won't know who made them. You won't know how much they cost. And in the end, you're going to determine your favorite.
All right.
My fellow wine expert, Stephanie, is going to introduce the folks at home to our superb New York wines. Let's take a look.
Thanks, Ray. Our first wine is a dry 2009 Riesling from the Thirsty Owl Wine Company. This winery opened its doors in 2002, and in only a few short years has increased its production dramatically. The 150 acres that overlook the Cayuga Lake has produced many award-winning wines, one of which is the wine we'll be tasting today. Our second 2009 dry Riesling comes from Cayuga Lake Vineyards. While owners Mel and Dorothy Goldman were visiting colleges with their son in '92, they fell in love with the Finger Lakes' hospitable people and breathtaking views. Shortly thereafter, they purchased land and started their own vineyard. This wine was bottled at Goldman's Falling Man Vineyards, where pickers and tractors are known to slip down the slopes, not unlike slopes surrounding the Mosel in Germany, another region known for its Riesling. This Circle-labeled dry Riesling, vintage 2009, comes from Red Newt Cellars, named after the indigenous red-spotted newt. Here, their cuisine is as famous as their wines. Red Newt Cellar is determined to distinguish the Finger Lakes as a world-class wine and culinary region. This 2009 Riesling from Chateau Lafayette Reynaud is semi-dry. In '96, owner Dick Reno teamed up with Tim Miller at Chateau Lafayette Reynaud, which has seen incredible growth in the past 14 years. Next, we have Dr. Constantine Frank's 2008 Late Harvest Bunch Select Riesling. Dr. Frank was integral to the development of fine winemaking in this region. New York grape growers used Dr. Frank's techniques to evolve into makers of fine wines. This was a game changer for the region and put the Finger Lakes on the map. Finally, we have the 2008 Martini Reinhardt Selection Riesling, Trockenbaron from Anthony Road Winery. Anthony Road is run by owners Anne and John Martini and German native winemaker Johannes Reinhardt. The Martini Reinhardt Selection Series is a very special group of wines made only from the very best grapes harvested each year. All of the wines on our program today were chosen by a panel of top wine experts, so we at VineTalk would recommend you try them all. Here in our studio, our slightly saucy audience just completed their blind taste test of our 6 wines. Let's take a look.
As we start our tasting, let me tell you a little bit about the region and the wines that we're tasting today. Finger Lakes have essentially made its name as a Riesling production area. Anybody been there? A couple of people been there? Beautiful.
Oh, very nice.
Not an unpretty place, am I right?
Right.
Gorgeous place. Well, what's interesting about the Finger Lakes is that what makes it so great for Riesling is some of its geological history, actually. Those big lakes up there were all caused by Ice Age glaciers that essentially came down and carved these huge, deep lakes. 10,000 years ago, and they melted, and then you've got the lakes. And the shores of those lakes, because the water is so deep, it moderates the temperature during the winter and the summer. And so the shores of those lakes are actually great locations for cold climate varieties like Riesling. So one thing about these wines, and about Rieslings in general that I should tell you, is that they come in a really wide variety of styles. Some are dry, which means not sweet at all. Some are going to be off dry, which means just a tiny touch of sweetness. Some are medium-ish sweet, quite pronounced sugar, and some are very sweet. I'm seriously dessert wine sweet. And we're actually going to go, one of the nice things about the Finger Lakes is they have all those styles represented there. We're going to go through, start off on the dry and zingy and tart side, work our way into slightly sweeter wines, and then end up with some really intense dessert wines.
Let's check in with the audience. Are you enjoying these wines? Yes! Looks like our New York audience is loving these New York wines a little too much. Let's head upstairs and join Stanley Tucci, Ray, and our guests as they try these remarkable Rieslings. Shall we?
Okay, it's time to try our first wine. You'll see that it's marked with a blue ribbon. It goes with the blue coaster, so you don't get confused, even after 6 wines.
Okay.
Finger Lakes is a lovely region. It's not a big region. There's about 100 wineries there at the moment, but it's achieved a fantastic reputation for Riesling. I think it's got the best Riesling terroir in the country. I'm going to leave from time to time because I'll be preparing the next wine, and then I'll come back in. And